A Buff interview, just only have like one question prepared, and it'll be.
Yeah.
Anyone
Yeah.
know who Kevin Smith is?
Yeah.
Buff is the same exact way. You ask one question, and it'll take Buff an hour, and he won't even answer the question.
But it's entertaining.
Oh, it is entertaining. Always entertaining. But the question will not be answered.
Never. That's the whole point. Be entertained without having to ask a question. You dodge questions.
That's true. I can't remember one time I asked you a question, and an hour later it came to you telling me which Nitro girl you were having sex with. It had nothing to do with that at all, but that's where we got to. Like, oh, okay, that's.
I got to erase you from my fucking call list.
Who, Kevin Nash or me?
You.
I get rid of Kevin. You
Well, he don't answer either.
What picture do you use for him?
You
Just find some picture on Google.
Do you fucking think I did that? let me point at who fucking did it.
Oh.
So ask her.
You just Google
I
pictures.
don't know how to fucking do that.
Wait, let's see. I got a. What picture do I have of you?
I don't do the picture thing. So
that's what I have you in my.
And look, of all things, you got the one where when WCW and NWO was in the fight. Because how many times have you ever seen me in a pair of plain black tights?
Oh yeah.
Never.
No.
So that was on a magnet, and they had to put it in plain black because they were having a WCW and WO war of.
I should have used your mugshot that everyone posts.
You should.
I'm gonna change it right now.
I'm gonna change mine to that. I love that picture. The best line is what they said. He's buff and now he's cuffed. I thought that was fucking great.
You make it easy for him.
Okay, brother.
Awesome, brother.
Let's go.
So, how's the audio? Should we use the mics because there's buzzing, or?
It don't matter. However, works good for you.
Awesome, fantastic.
I forgot about the mics.
So
I forgot we even had mics.
Indeed. So, welcome to Daytona. Welcome back.
yeah,
To Buff.
thank you.
And for
Get
everyone-
somewhere pretty quick, will you?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Indeed.
Just kidding, man.
So, Buff, what was like your favorite and your worst match in WCW and as part of the NWO?
That is an hour long. It's not possible to answer that, bro. I could probably come up with the worst one. My worst one, and I would like you to try to find this guy.
Uh-huh.
It was a long blonde-haired guy when I was Marcus Alexander Bagwell, and his gimmick was he came out with a guitar and it wasn't Van Hammer. And we had a match, like a house show match, that ended in a complete real fist fight. We had a fight. It was a shoot fight in the ring. And I mean, because he wasn't working with me and I wasn't working with him, and so it ended up being just a complete fight.
Joe's Vintage Motocross Bikes.
Ooh, what a rebel.
He's a badass.
He's a badass. I'm sure there are major checks come out of that.
You have his phone number in your. You want to?
That definitely is.
You want to call JT Southern?
I can't call him because I don't know his number or state he lives in.
I think Van Hammer's in prison, isn't he?
No, he's right. He's actually doing really good.
Is he? Okay.
As a matter of fact, DDP spoke for him for me to call Mark. Mark Hildreth is his real name, and he said he wanted me to call him up and because he's running some resort and doing really well.
Okay, yeah, he got sentenced to 1 year probation and 1 year of driver's license revocation.
Whoa, that's big.
And he's going to have an interlock device placed in his vehicle all time.
Ah, that's no problem.
That's what you got to blow into it to drive.
You got to have somebody in the car to blow. I've already had that. Storing a lot of cocaine blowing in that thing.
This happened actually happened in Palm Beach County, Florida. How far is that from here?
I've never been.
He's a party. He's a Florida boy.
That's Broward County. Oh, that's
Broward's like Panama City.
Yeah, he lives over by that area.
Yeah. Oh. Either he just got out of trouble, but regardless, DDP took up for him and wanted me to call him and kind of talk to him. And I kind of feel bad because I didn't because me and Mark were really good friends. Do you know what he did for a living?
You told me this. He was cut hair.
Hairdresser.
There we go.
Here's a 6'8", 320-pound, ripped and shredded, and he had great calves, being tall.
He couldn't work a leg.
And God bless him, but the problem
How
was.
did he have such a long career in WCW and he could not work?
Because he looked good.
That's all you needed?
I
could have been heavyweight champion.
No, because I looked really good and I wasn't.
Well, I can work though. So.
That's right. I forgot about that. Damn it. I'm forgetting the little things.
Bob, you mentioned Piper. Do you have any Piper party stories? Because I know that he was notorious.
He was real quiet, man, with that. Yeah, there's no. He did his own thing, man. I mean, he was real. He had a guy that always was around with him, always for years. And there was all kind of rumors that was his lover, that was his friend. There was all kind of rumors with that. But I have no facts at all, and I've never even had a beer with Piper. I've partied with pictures with me and Hulk in England at a club with me and Sting and Hogan with our shirts off, and me and Dallas Page were on stage doing a stripping contest. Yeah, I got pictures of all of it. And because here I am, I'm partying with Hulk Hogan. I mean, Click, are you kidding? Click, the old school cameras, Yeah. And but I can't remember one of them being with Piper.
Yeah, he said even in his book he talked about always being a loner. So I guess it just.
Yeah, he was a real big. He was always.
I didn't know, and I found this out later in life that Piper was a closet cigarette smoker.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I found that out later. Someone I knew after he died, he talked about it. We picked Piper up, and Piper the guy smoked himself, and Piper was like, "Let me get one of those." So I don't think he was like a hardcore smoker.
Yeah, I didn't. I've never seen him smoke a cigarette. I've been around him enough to. I think I would have saw him smoke one. I've been around him that much, but
maybe it was later in his life.
Maybe
he's jacked up on something. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Jesus.
A cigarette ain't gonna get you there.
No, definitely not a cigarette.
Ain't gonna get you where he was.
You back up?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So how did Rebuilding Buff form, like the inception and all that good stuff?
Well, we were in the county jail together, and I was like, "No, I'm just kidding." Yeah, I found his website, and I just sent a message, and I was like, "Hey, you ever thought about doing a podcast?"
That's not true.
Little did
That's not true, Michael.
Ain't that what happened?
Nope.
Well, how'd it happen?
You called me out of the clear blue.
I ain't quite nice. I sent you a message on the website.
Swear to God on my life, you called me. Let me remind you. You see if you remember. You go at the end of you asking me what you were getting ready. He called me up and he goes, "Hey, my name's Michael Long. I do this thing. He does his whole sell pitch. As soon as he's done, the only thing that comes out of my mouth is, Yeah, let's do it. And he went, well, that's an easy sell.
Well, okay, yeah. So, but
Right.
but here's how it originally happened. I must have been talking to Vinny and thinking it was
You were.
Okay, yeah, because I sent a message through the website, and he was like, "Hey, give me a call tomorrow." Blah blah blah. And I'm like,
I always told him to. Vinny's job is only to get the person in touch with me.
Right.
So you got either you talked to Vinny or got the number from Vinny to to call me. Because keep in mind that was even at the beginning of me and Vinny.
Right.
So Vinny's job is strictly just to because he ain't got enough balls.
Right.
I love him to death, but he ain't got enough balls. So I just get him to get the people to me for me to talk to them. So that's exactly what happened. I just answered the phone and you was like, hey.
My story was right. He just wasn't part of it yet. So I messaged through the website and Vinny was like, give me a call tomorrow. So I called and then I pitched it. You're like, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm like, really? That easy? Like, whatever.
And there it was. We started. And then by the same time, I was trying to get WWE I wanted to get my life straight. And I knew that was the only way to get my career back was to get my life straight, And so we, I think you came up with the name.
Yep.
And he said, what about what we call Rebuilding Buff? I said, let's do it. And at the same time, almost not at the same time, but within 3 or 4 weeks, Dallas, it's more than that. Not a lot longer.
No, it's about 2 months. Yeah, about
a couple months.
Yeah.
A couple months go by and we're doing it, having fun, getting along, becoming friends and everything. And Dallas Page opened up a show at the accountability crib where he saved Jake's life and gave Scott Hall 10 more years of his life. So I'm actually in that home Monday through Thursday every week for 90 days. I'm not even sure how long we've been there.
Maybe even an extra month.
But they're going a 4th month and they're asking me to do it, but I got to stay all 7 days. To do so, I'm gonna lose 10 grand. And I told Dallas that I can't do that, bro. Because he goes, just let me call him. I go, well, what about the money? And he goes, well, hey, you got the money, I'm paying you. He pays us $300 a week. And keep in mind, he's saving our lives and paying us. I get it. And I worship the ground Dallas Page walks on, but how can I can't, that's everything I've been saying I'm going to do, I will be undoing by canceling all these people. You know what I'm saying? I don't cancel. I don't no show. I do. Even when I was at my worst, I always showed. I was always there. I was in the ring. You can't find one match on there that I'm fucked up on camera. Never. Not once. But you can find a bunch of locker room shit and a bunch of other stuff, but you won't find one when I'm in the ring. And so, but that's how so I call it WWE. I'm the only wrestler in the history of time to do 2 things in the WWE. To be main event 1 week and fired the next. I mean, that's impossible, right? But it's not. It's possible. And I'm the only wrestler to be turned down for rehab. And I know for a fact, and I can use his name because he's been sober for 8 years now. And that is, I know Jake went 6 or 7 times.
Oh, Sonny's been at least 4.
And so I asked once and get no. And it even pissed Dallas off. Dallas wanted to do something about it. I go, what do we do? And Dallas knew that doing anything like that was just going to get heat on him too. So it wasn't going to go nowhere, So we just decided, look, let's just fucking do it. Then he had to quit smoking, so it kind of worked together, and kind of working together on quitting smoking and quitting drinking, and like a couple weeks ago, I wanted a beer or was getting a beer or something, and I said, I just want a beer, man, just a beer. And he goes, the problem is I've never seen you just drink a beer. And I said, you're getting ready to see it. And I drank about half of it and ate my meal, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, wow. So, I mean, it's just, like even Dallas that they was talking to me, I was telling you about it. You know, when somebody's looking at you, how they'll kind of ball your arm or ball your tat or ball your hair, or with their eyes are moving, kind of, you know. He was doing that to me. I went, what the fuck are you looking at? He went, you look fucking great. And I said, tell me something I don't fucking know, will you? And we started laughing and just cutting up about it, but it was, but you know, just I do look much younger from not drinking and stuff. I think it's the reason why, and that's why I don't wear sunglasses anymore, so people can see my eyes and see that I'm coherent and with everybody instead of hiding behind the infamous sunglasses. You know,
if you want to really bug Buff out, he's like, oh, you're looking a little older now.
Oh no, not that. Sick.
Oh yeah, oh
Sick
yeah.
of fan. Oh.
Ooh, oh my God. I remember hearing a story now. They used to fuck with you and be like, did you lose some weight? You're looking a little.
No, sick. Yeah, they were go sick. But then it didn't bother me until when you get really lean, like when I was freaky lean on TV, you know, you don't look. You're not big, bro. You look. I mean, you're on TV. You look gigantic. But when you're lean like I was, I mean, it's certain shirts would eat you alive, eat you up. And so I got what it started messing with me was when the Nitro girls, they started coming up to me going, are you sick? I went, what? They go, well, you look sick. So I saw that, I saw that problem. Every building I pulled up to, before I went in, I went, took my shirt off. And then it became a joke with the wrestlers, like, oh my God, Bagwell, you've gotten sick again. Oh God, you look horrible. Because I look so good. We actually made a joke of the sick thing. But at first, brother, you throw a sick to a bodybuilder guy, they're going to go, what? I look sick. Oh my God. You know? So, yeah.
What do you think, Vampiro?
Yeah.
Indeed. So, Michael, you're a former wrestling guy. Are you a wrestler? Or...
I was for, I mean, I guess you can call it that. I'd go out there and try. But, used to.
You got any tapes I can watch?
Thriller. So, yeah.
Is that your gimmick?
That was.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
I never heard it.
That's what I'm.
Except Michael Jackson.
I'm a name guy. I'm good at creative names. Outside of that, I don't. Not much. Yeah. I did wrestling for a little while. It's a lot more successful talking though. So I like this better. It's a lot easier. But tomorrow I will be wrestling for the first time in 3 years.
Who's your opponent?
Some battle royal. I'm wrestling as long as I go over. If they tell me I'm not winning, I'm not going out there. I'll set Buff in my place.
Yeah, I'll go for him now. Do the job.
Buff will do the job.
Yeah. I'm so used to it.
What both brought you to pro wrestling? Like when did you become a pro wrestler?
Me or Mark?
Both of you.
Well,
into wrestling.
Unlike some people, I did it because I loved wrestling. I grew up watching wrestling. I was a nerd.
That's why you got fucked.
Right. That's why I was never on TV.
I got in it for money.
Yeah. If I would have got in it for money, I got in the wrong thing because I never made a dime.
Missy Hyatt, as you found me, and I was at the pool one day trying to figure out what I was doing with my life. You know, I was a licensed massage therapist, believe it or not. My parents were going broke. We were filthy rich growing up, but we were going broke. My dad said, look, I got enough money to get, I got two brothers. He goes, I got enough money to get each one of you guys something at least started and what do you want to do for your life? Well, there's 8 and 6 years difference between me and my two other brothers. You know, I was kind of an accident. I'm the baby, but 6 years behind. So at 18, you don't know what you want to do, you know. But I came up with massage therapy thinking, you know, we could do some kind of, you know, like sports medicine, sports. I want to be sports something, you know, anything sports, because I was big into sports. And so I was a massage therapist and it wasn't working. And I thought being in shape and being a fairly attractive guy and all that. I thought that would be a plus for me being a massage therapist. And I was wrong. It was dead against me. Women would walk in and see me and they immediately turn around and walk out. And I heard from, their husband would kill them, to you may find some fat on my back, to all kind of crazy shit. But so this guy got me into pro wrestling.
You should have stuck with the massage therapy. Your career would have had a happy ending.
Hey, there was a few I had to walk out of. We were taught that in school of what to do, and if that ever happened on the table, you just walk out and went at your boss.
Hey, you want to handle that?
Yeah, that's basically what they're saying. I was like,
this guy's a little too excited for my.
I just said, I worked for a company called Corporate Sports. Was the name of the company. It was a big company. I was the #1 massage therapist because I was good at it. I really was good at it. And but when they saw me, I think they were just insecure, so it didn't work. So I went the wrestling route.
This is a dream come true for me because like back in 2008-ish, I messaged TNA. They were looking for interns for broadcasting, and that's what I wanted to go into. And for this to come full circle to interview one of my favorite pro wrestlers growing up.
Oh well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad I was one of your favorites. You're talking to him. Never mind.
Yeah, I was like raised on WCW and then ECW as well and WWE, and they were my babysitters growing up because my parents worked a lot. And like one of my favorite memories was just like bringing a sign to a wrestling show, and it said, "Please sign my sign," and they all walked up to it and signed it. It was just like,
oh, that's cool.
Pretty clever.
Yeah.
I was always a WWE kid growing up. WWF.
Most everybody was, I think. I mean,
until Nitro came around, and because before Nitro, it's like you didn't have a way to watch WCW unless Saturday nights. But with Nitro, I was like, oh, I kind of like this. You guys got Hulk Hogan.
Well, I think also, I don't know about you, but tell me what you think. I think the live thing was cool.
Oh yeah.
It being live,
it was something new.
That's what. And then when Rude came out,
oh yeah,
and told everybody what the show was going to be about, that just completely buried them. So they had to go start going live, and then we started kicking their ass. So for the first time ever, WCW's beating WWF.
Absolutely.
To the point where we didn't, as the boys, we didn't want to beat them. There's got to be two places. If there's just one place, we're all fucked. And that's what happened. I was making $1 million a year to $175,000. There goes your motorcycles, your house. You're still rich, but there goes your motorcycle, your houses, your Jags. There goes all the toys and funds. There goes the Platinum American Express card, and you're making $175 though. So
I got some good news for you. You guys didn't beat WWF. So
what now?
I said I got some good news. You guys did not beat
No.
WWF. So you should be happy.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But we literally, I remember there being a time where we were on a bike ride with Eric, and he had got the ratings in, and Eric was like high-fiving that we'd won again, and we're like having a high-five Eric, but really we're going, fuck, damn it, man, this is not good. This is when, and Vince was like losing it. Come up with a fake Kevin Nash, fake Diesel, a fake Razor Ramon. I mean, we were like, oh my God, the old man's lost it. So we were like, oh my God, we're gonna beat him, and then that income's not gonna be good, because then prices go down, And so, but like you said, we didn't beat him, so it didn't matter.
Absolutely. And when Michael messaged the Orlando Comedy Group to see if there was any venues for AEW, how was that experience like when you had when you were at companies?
We actually ended up not being able to do that show because the DDP thing ended up happening. So we actually had to cancel those Orlando shows, which we didn't want to do, but at the same time, that was the very beginning of Buff moving into DDP's house.
Yeah,
So there was no way he could be like, well, I'm not going to move him and everyone else moves him.
right.
So it kind of messed up our schedule, and we hope to get in Orlando again in the future. It just, that kind of messed it up at that point.
But then so many other things took off for us, you know, like our Twitter and just me, just us just talking and coming up with stuff and just being real, you know, and the crowd just really accepted it, you know. And
I remember when with the Twitter thing, which has just blown up in the last
that's
3
crazy.
weeks, he called me on a Sunday, and he's like, I think I broke Twitter. I think I broke my Twitter. I'm like, what'd you do? He's like, oh, I got 20,000 followers overnight.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Yes.
Like, what did he do? I thought he did something. I was like,
Well, so did Dallas. Dallas thought I did something wrong too when he saw me and Braun's.
oh, you and Braun Strowman. Oh my God.
Yes. Both of our.
Changing
He
mug
was like,
shots.
oh God, what's Bagwell done? And then he said he read it and went. You know, I told you what he said.
Yeah.
He goes, I knew this was you speaking. I knew it was. He said, and you said, so and so. I was like, yeah, man. I said, bro, I said, it was just facts. I mean, I found out he had a DUI after dogging me. That's like, why do you throw rocks in glass houses, man? This is stupid.
Oh, he may be there tomorrow.
Who gives a fuck? I ain't scared of that fucker.
I am.
I'm not.
I didn't talk shit about him on Twitter.
I don't give a fuck. Strowman. I'll take every fucking dime you got, so come on.
Strowman out.
Fucking Stroh, whatever the fucking name is. Goddamn. Year-long career. I had a fucking 30-year-long career. God dang. You couldn't fucking ride the same car I was in, motherfucker. God damn.
You wouldn't be allowed.
Embarrassing.
You wouldn't be allowed in your car.
Fuck, you no way you'd be allowed. You'd be with Disco in them. In the back of that car. Oh, it blows my mind. These guys black out their stars. The fuck have you ever done in your life, Strowman? God.
His face is never on a Capital One car.
Sure as fuck what? Sure as hell what?
It may have been on one of those prepaid cars that.
Yeah, maybe like a get out of jail free card or something.
And Mike, you're a comedian. And
Yeah.
Do you have any comedy stories? Your favorite bomb story, or your favorite where you straight up killed it?
No, I've never killed it.
Let's kill the cell.
Yeah.
Try to kill the cell.
Yeah, I just do enough to get by. I never go above it. I'm like Buff Bagwell. I'm like, I just do enough to keep it
That's
down.
it, baby.
No,
Let's get stay in the middle.
I've had fun. I mean, I've done. I guess I've never really bombed on stage to where I'm just like, oh God, that didn't work. So I guess I'm lucky in that. But I think the only really good comedy story I have is being on a show with Gilbert Gottfried, who just passed away.
Yeah, that's right.
And watching him put everything in the green room into his bag because he was so damn cheap. That is what he did. He lived off of free stuff. And I never knew that. I was just like, what's this guy? And then I heard the stories later on, like, oh, yeah, that's good. There's actually a story I just learned about where he almost died back in the 80s. His appendix burst, and he sat there looking at the phone. He didn't want to call he didn't want to call 911 because he didn't know how much an ambulance would cost. He didn't want to spend the money on an ambulance.
Wow.
So he would not call 911.
God rest his soul. He's a fucking idiot.
He almost died then. He ended up passing out. Appendix burst is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
And he ended up passing out. His sister found him and called him for the ambulance. But he would not call it because he didn't want to pay for an ambulance to take him to the hospital. So, and then actually, Penn Jillette paid for his cable or for him to have cable in the hospital because he wouldn't pay the 79 cents a day to get cable in the hospital room. So yeah, Glenn, he was cheap.
To say the least.
Yeah.
Buff, your tweets are golden, and I love them too. And have you ever considered performing stand-up?
Kind of, but then there's so many other things stepped in place like this. But it'd be easy because all I had to do was tell about my wrestling stories. That's a lot of wrestlers are doing that, like Jake and Mick Foley, and I know there are a lot of those, and I have got 1,000 unbelievably great, funny stories. I'm a pretty good storyteller at the same time, so I think I'd be pretty good at it. But it's also a tough career too, because there's a lot of people out there like wrestlers that are good wrestlers that don't make it, and there's like comedians that are good comedians that don't make it. But but I would. It's something I would venture into for sure.
And the only problem is you'd only have an hour, so you can only tell one joke.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You have one joke, and
I only get one joke out.
and you're like, oh,
It'd be a great one.
oh yeah,
But then it's like, is that all?
it'd take them an hour to get to the punchline.
Yeah,
It'd be a funny
And
punchline.
then,
By the time you get to it, everyone's like, oh, we forget what the joke was.
yeah, what was the question?
How'd that joke start off again?
What'd you say?
Yeah, Mike, you're a filmmaker too, and what's your favorite film that you ever made, and your favorite on-set story?
Love Comes in China.
Yeah. Bob comes.
This is number one.
My favorite movie I ever made was Sunny Side Up. It was sunny, No, I've mostly only worked on like little documentary things and stuff like that. And I think the funniest story is trying to do a Bobby Fulton documentary and dealing with him and his son. Dylan.
Exactly.
The mess that is.
Dealing with
Dylan. Yeah, that was just a whole mess. But seeing Bobby and his son almost come to a fist fight.
Yeah. Over Sting's pictures, right?
Yeah, at WrestleCade because Bobby was
I asked him about it the next day, remember?
Yeah.
And he said, oh, I had it going smooth, and he messed with it. I said, no. I said, well, I heard it was much deeper than that. And he kind of explained it a little deeper, but it was basically over something Dylan was doing, and Bobby got to ruin everything, and I don't blame him. It's his money or whatever. And so he's like, what? He said, what are you doing or something? And questioned Dylan, and
Bobby, it doesn't take a lot for Bobby to get mad.
No, Bobby's got a bad temper.
Oh my God, horrible temper.
I've never been on a show with him that he didn't cuss somebody out.
I remember one time we did
a wrestler out.
Yeah, we did a show.
And loves me to death.
Oh yeah.
Don't know. It's just I love him.
I did a show in West Virginia that Bobby was on. They were using Bobby's ring. And the guy that I was wrestling, he wore like makeup like the Boogeyman does, kind of. And we had a 2-second match. Like he choked me out, and that was it. And Bobby come flying backstage. Who told you could wear makeup in my ring? Oh, what? You got makeup on my mat and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh my God, like bro, just take a sponge to it. It'll be fine. But he flew off the handle.
To be honest with you, those mats are a big deal.
Oh yeah,
I know you know that. But
oh yeah.
Because we used to get in trouble for it too.
Well, here's the thing.
Why they'd be like, look, man, it costs a lot of money to clean and stuff.
Well,
this is Ted Turner telling us. We're like,
right. Well, here's one thing we did not know, because we got to the building late because superstars,
of course.
We got to the building late, and Bobby had given a big speech before we got there about not getting anything on the mat because he just had them clean and they were nice and blah blah blah. We didn't know any of that, so yeah, he got you. I didn't get you out.
Right.
He got you. I just sat there.
I've seen somebody get cussed out at every one of Bobby Fulton's shows, and I've been at least 100. And somebody's gotten really bad cussed out at every one of them.
Yeah. Even now, we can barely talk. He's still cussing.
Oh yeah.
God bless.
It's a trip.
I couldn't imagine growing up with him as a dad. Can you imagine bringing home a C or a D? How much you
or a Dylan,
or just being Dylan. Period.
Him having a deal with Dylan.
Deal with Dylan.
I like that.
I would give him up for adoption. Even though he's 18, I'd still give him up.
And Buff, you've been on TV for WCW, and while you were part of the NWO and you were on Gigolos, like what's like the main differences between?
And I've done several movies.
Yeah. What are your favorite episodes that you've done on each one, and what's your favorite film that you ever worked on?
We only did one episode of Gigolos, right?
Yeah.
That's his favorite.
Because it was also the highest rated show in Jewel history. But anyway, it got an 11. But anyway, he's counting on that right away.
Hey, very horrid. Just tap yourself on the back a few times. Yeah.
No, but that whole Gigolo thing was just to get me back out there again. I'd had a real bad Jeep car wreck in 2012, and where I had a seizure. I'd actually went to rehab and came off the pills and everything, but I still didn't know the problem that was wrong with me. I had sleep apnea. And so I had this thing called atrial fibrillation, which means your heart don't beat even. Well, somas are a muscle relaxer. So every time I took a soma, it would help my heart. Well, I can remember so many times telling my parents my heart was hurting, that I needed some more somas, and they'd be like, I could see the eyes roll, and I was like, I'm serious, there's something wrong. Well, in the middle of trying to figure all that out, we didn't know that yet. So I went to another rehab, came home, and felt like shit, and ended up cranking my Jeep up and driving it around and don't remember any of it. And it looked like I just went up to the CVS and took a right and flipped my Jeep, is what everybody thought. But I told my ex-wife, I said, I'm telling you, man, I said, I hit some shit. I hit some things. I said, I can't quite remember it and what it was, but I just remember not being able to control my Jeep more than just going up and taking a right. And when the police report came back, I had knocked over 9 mailboxes, which could have been 9 people. But here's the problem. Woodstock police hears that Buck Bagwell has a car wreck. How fast do you think I got a DUI? Instantly. Toxicology report comes back. I said, I got a rehab. It was spotless. So they had to drop that to reckless driving. And I just literally had a seizure. But it was a bad one. There's a bad wreck though. I mean, like my face got caved in, and I got 5 plates in my face over it. And it was my shit's always happening with cars.
Yeah. I just like how the question was, what was your favorite episode that you ever been on?
See?
And somehow we got to car wrecks.
So that's what happens with me. I go. But I don't know. I can't. That's tough too. But I think Day of the Warrior was fun because it was my first. So I really liked Practice the Lines, but Charm was cool.
I think Return to Savage Beach was your best one.
You do really?
I think it was. Just because I know the backstory that you had to fake a love scene while her husband was standing near you.
Oh God!
That just makes the movie even better for me.
It is. I told you who got what he did right.
Yeah, he's the creator of Ninja Turtles.
$600 million, and Julie Schling was the worst actress in the world. So they let her do whatever she wanted, and he was worth $600 million. Nobody believed him. He was like, Ninja Turtles? Or have you lost your fucking mind? He told me, he said he got stoned one night. He came up with this idea and he could get nobody to back him. So he went in himself. He ends up making $600 million. Yeah. And I'm making out with her, and he's like 20 feet away.
You may have got off on it.
I think maybe. I got off.
Jim Cornette would have got off if it was his wife.
There you go.
Speaking of actors and actresses, how did you get blocked by Kirstie Alley?
I don't know. She's some crazy. I probably called her crazy something or another.
What's Kirstie Alley?
She blocked me on Twitter.
For what?
I don't remember. Probably because I'm always ragging on her because she says dumb things. That's my biggest claim to fame.
I kind of like that chick.
You would. She blocked me. You're not allowed to like her.
I hate that bitch.
Exactly.
So what I was thinking.
I'm gonna start.
Kirstie Alley hate. Calm down.
Yeah.
Competition. I like
it. Don't make me start liking Alan Fung.
Yeah.
You're gonna like my enemy. I'm gonna like yours.
Okay. Deal.
Yeah, I don't remember. She said something crazy. I said she was crazy, probably.
She probably is crazy.
Oh yeah. I'm blocked by Jerry Lawler too on Twitter.
Are you?
Yeah. I made a tweet saying that something was going on I was like, I'm more excited than Jay Lawler at a high school dance. He blocked me. I don't know why.
That's pretty good, though.
It is good.
Good line.
I'm gonna send him that you said it was a good
I
line.
said, well, it is. Jerry's dogged the hell out of me, even though he's took up for me a lot. Him and Cornette's had a blast with me on the J-Lo thing.
I remember that. Yeah,
they ripped me apart.
Yeah,
so,
true.
but again, I could care less. I'm me and Jerry's Jerry. So
women were paying to have sex with you. He was
exactly
picking them up from
from kindergarten.
Yeah. He's picking them up off the seesaw.
Yeah, and paying them.
Yeah, you got paid.
You got paid. I like that.
Absolutely.
I don't know who else. I'm blocked by a bunch of people.
Same.
Good for you. That's congratulations.
Yeah, it's a skill.
That's hard to get done.
It's a skill.
Yeah. I'm impressed.
Thank you. I try my best.
I think you had that in you.
Hey, you'd be surprised.
Like you host another podcast, Long Road Home with Corey Hennessy. How do you link up with
That was actually our radio show. We actually met at media school. We were going to media school together, and we're like, hey, we both just hate everyone, so let's do a show together. And we did it, and it took off, and it was great. And I got called a cheap Howard Stern because of it. But that's a compliment to me.
Absolutely.
the king of all media?
Yeah.
You're the prince of all media.
Something like that. I got to be ahead of something.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yes.
Indeed. All right, so we'll wrap it up. And what are you excited about Wrestle Daytona coming up tomorrow?
I just talked to him before I came in here. He was picking some guys up from the airport.
Was he picking Vampiro up?
Probably. But I think Vampiro was driving. But
that's why they couldn't find a place.
Yeah, they were lost. So I'm excited about it. I've never done a con here. I thought actually he's the one that told me. I thought it was just like a specific store I was doing it at, but it's actually a lot of talent's going to be there. So
I don't know how to put this together. You see 10% of what you're
Yeah,
making.
yeah.
Just gotta figure out my percentage real quick.
Where NWO was born.
Yeah.
Huh?
Where NWO was born.
That's it.
That's the city.
That's it.
This was also, I believe, the last WCW house show was here too.
Really?
I believe. Am I correct?
I'm not sure. I just know the NWO. I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
on
See. Last
Well,
NWO.
I'm trying to think where we were before Jacksonville. That would have been the last house show.
The last Nitro was
Because
in.
Jacksonville, when we put O'Hara and Nemo.
Okay, that was pay-per-view.
Right, that was Sunday. Well, Monday was,
The last night.
that was it.
Yeah, and that was.
I don't know.
Because Panama City was the last Nitro.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that Jacksonville was the pay-per-view. Probably the house show would have been in Florida too.
Oh, without a doubt.
So yeah,
Would-
it most
would-
likely was here.
Yeah.
No, we'll go with it.
If Panama was south and you were coming from Jacksonville, it would have been in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It works.
I'm just gonna say I was right.
Yeah, I think you should.
I'm ready.
You always do anyway.
Yeah, it don't matter if I'm ready. I'll
That's where
change.
I am. Fuck.
I will change. I will go
I
edit a
will
Wikipedia
stick
to
to
make
my
myself
guns
right.
on it.
I will edit someone's Wikipedia to make myself
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
Any questions from the audience before we wrap things up? Sean?
Yeah, I do have a quick one. Do you, by any chance, remember the house band from Nitro? Did you know them or remember them at all? The guy with the piano.
That.
There was a band on Nitro that'd be like on the intro and the outro. It was a live house band.
I don't remember that.
I remember Stroh,
The reason I ask is that the guy that played the piano lives in this area, is a friend of mine.
Maestro.
Well, I don't know what he called himself back then. His name was Carolina. His name now, he travels around as Reverend Billy Warts.
Right.
And but yeah, he was the piano guy.
The only time I remember there being a band, the piano guy, and during my time was a guy named Maestro.
That was awesome.
And-
It might have been him. I mean, I only
Yeah,
met him later
but
on.
he's from Carolina, he said.
Yeah, he lives in Carolina.
And he goes by, he's the weirdest fucking cat on the face
He's got
of
it
this
up at all?
planet.
No.
He's a weird cat, dude.
That's
I mean,
yeah,
nicest guy in the world, just a weird cat.
real tall dude or not?
No, not really. Just kind of just nothing.
I remember Nitro ever having a live.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yes, I got a band hired for them.
Oh,
To
really?
sit, they had a song called New World Order,
Huh.
and they sang at Cedar Rapids at our Sold Out,
Okay.
and I got them that gig, and it happens to be that band called Jackal.
Oh, shit.
You remember Jackal?
Yeah.
They sound like AC/DC.
Yeah.
Jackal is who it was, and I got them booked for because they had a song called New World Order. It's a cool song. So they actually played like intermission, like in between like commercial breaks and stuff. They'd play as a house band. That's the only time I ever remember
Yeah, I didn't remember there ever being
that
a band.
happening. But the piano guy during my run was a guy named Maestro.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't remember there ever being a band.
And I remember them wanting, he had the candelabra and all that, and play the piano, and then, and of course, he was going to beat me. And I went to Eric and I said, Eric, are you fucking kidding? I said, this guy looks like a pile of dog shit. I said, you go put him over me? And he had been there for a little while trying to make it, you know.
Right.
I was all of a sudden, y'all come up with a gimmick for him, and I gotta lose. So it took me out of it, and he beat somebody else, but still.
I remember for a while Nitro did have a DJ.
Well, the guy that I know that did it, he was trying to be a manager. Like he was kind of like one of like the Jimmy Hart style, and then I forgot how he said he got the gig with Nitro. I don't remember. I just know that he travels under Reverend Billy C. Works. He used to perform here all the time. Real weird dude though.
Yeah.
Real eccentric.
This guy was too.
He
He just goes by Stro now.
Yeah, it ain't no
Is
big
that
deal.
right?
Yeah, he is weird.
Stro. Is that it, brother? Matthew?
Yeah, I was just wondering, what was how did you react like the first time like you saw like one of your action figures, and then like when you first saw yourself in like a video game, like what did you think of the way they recreated you?
Blown away. Like wrestling had become bigger than we knew. We didn't know it. We were on the road, and I remember coming home and watching my nephews playing me, but they both were me. That's when you could play. Each one of you could be buff. And I go, what are y'all doing to my nephews? And they go, oh, we're playing you on TV, Uncle Mark. And I went, all of a sudden my phone rang. Did you get your check? I go, no. Go in your mailbox. 80 grand. Everybody on it got 80 grand. So every time you saw us on like a video game, everybody got 80. Even Doug Dillinger, our security guy, got 80 grand because he was on the show. But action figure was the coolest because, of course, I was later on than everybody else. And but I remember I used to park my motorcycle around the curb at the mall, and
Oh yeah.
the really good one they did.
Yeah.
I mean, one they actually read off each other. They would talk to each other. It was pretty cool. It's called Walking Talking Dummies or something. So,
Maybe yours was called the Walking Talk.
about was definitely called the Walking Talking Dummies. I just
I
renamed
think
it.
they're slam talkers or something
Yeah.
like that. Or something.
Walking Talking. I know it says no. It don't say walking. It says
They didn't walk.
yeah
They talked.
something talking.
Tough talkers.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Tough talkers.
tough talkers.
Great stuff.
But it was cool. It was real cool.
Would you be up for a maximum 5-person word association?
He says a name and you give
Oh,
him
I was like, what do you think?
he gives you a name and you say the first word that comes to mind.
Sure.
All right, Bret Hart.
Don't let me know him.
6.
Don't get it.
Nate.
badass.
Juventud Guerrera.
Juventud. Which one is Juventud?
Juice.
Movie juice.
The little one that did the Scorpios thing?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
Hoovy?
Yep.
I liked Hoovy. He was cool, and he was athletic, and he was cool. He was accepted out of all those, like La Parca and all those guys. I think he got over more than any of those guys.
I
So
think he got arrested in Australia.
he did Australia. He got us all in trouble in Australia.
And last, Jeff Jarrett.
Love him. Love him.
Appreciate
Yeah.
It's a good one.
He is. He's a good guy, man.
So I think we're ready to wrap things up.
Yep. Give it up for the nOg. Give it for James. Give it up
Thank you
for
guys so
Russ.
much for coming out. Thank you guys. Thank you.
One thing we like to do when we wrap up our live shows, the best part,
You gotta do it.
the best entrance music of all time. Always gotta end,
Got to.
and he knows every word somehow.
You heard it a million times.
Vampiro, you want to sing along?
Vampiro's gonna hop in with me.
Yeah.
You already told me.
It's
You
like
ready now? You ready, Vampiro? Here we go.
Yeah.
How many times?
We should. One day we're just gonna sit there and count.
When you say I'm coming, better run for cover. Girls, you don't need a weekend lover.
You actually watch the American Male intro.
American
It's always lip syncing the song when they come out.
If they want to talk to you, you better not. Video,
It is.
you might want
That is what.
Even Sky Ridge is
That video is what they call thirst trap.
American. Yeah, it's a little.
Thirst trap.
Oh yeah. It's like
Yeah. Well, thirst trap is back in the 90s. Sure is even a thing. Jimmy Hart's going to. Jimmy Hart's going to work right on 10 minutes right into the song.
But if you listen to it without the words, it's incredible music.
Oh, yeah.
They're irresistible.
I love seeing Vinny Jim.
They're unpredictable. Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. American man.
We thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you so much,
guys. Bob will do pictures.
Yes, please restroom right quick, and then we'll do some pictures and stuff, okay?
And we got some 8x10s for sale. Come offline. It's fine.
Let me scoot that chair back. No, thank you so much, man. Thank you. Who's the deer hunter?
Jesus. Kevin Nash's son.
Oh,